September 23, 1995, Saturday night. The Paramount Theater in downtown Brooklyn. 8,000 bodies packed into a venue built for 6,500. The air is thick with smoke and sweat and the particular electricity that comes from a hometown crowd watching one of their own become a king. This is Biggie's Brooklyn. These are his people. This is the coronation. Ready to Die went platinum 6 months ago. Every radio station from New York to Los Angeles plays his songs on repeat. MTV has him in rotation. The Source gave him 5 mics, magazine covers, talk show appearances, money, fame, everything. But tonight isn't about any of that. Tonight is about coming home. About standing on a stage 15 minutes from where he sold crack on Fulton Street and showing everyone who knew him when he was just Christopher that he made it. That he wasn't lying when he said it was all a dream. The show starts at 9:30. DJ Premier on the ones and twos. Junior MAFIA opens. Lil' Kim comes out and the crowd loses their minds. Then Cease. Then the rest of the crew. Building energy. Building anticipation. By the time they clear the stage for Biggie, it's 10:45 and the theater feels like it's going to explode. The lights drop. Complete darkness. 8,000 people screaming. You can feel the floor shake. Feel the balcony vibrate. The bass hits. That piano loop starts. Everyone knows what's coming. Juicy, the anthem. The song that every kid in Brooklyn who ever had nothing knows by heart. The song that promises you can make it if you survive long enough. The spotlight hits center stage and there he is. The Notorious B.I.G. 340 pounds of Brooklyn wrapped in a cookie sweater that costs more than most people's monthly rent. Timberlands, platinum chain, Versace shades even though it's night and he's indoors. The crown on his head isn't literal but everyone can see it anyway. He raises one hand and the crowd somehow gets louder. Impossibly louder. People in the balcony jumping. People in the orchestra pit pressing forward. Security struggling to hold the barricade. This is more than a concert. This is a religious experience. This is Brooklyn watching Brooklyn win. Biggie grabs the microphone. His voice comes through the speakers with that particular weight that makes every word sound important. It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine. 8,000 voices join him. Every single person in that theater knows every single word. They've lived this song. They've memorized it. They've played it at parties and in cars and on stoops and in bedrooms when nobody was watching. This isn't just Biggie's story. This is their story too. He's rapping about making it out and they're all still trying to make it out, and for 3 minutes and 45 seconds they can pretend they already did. The first verse hits perfectly. Biggie's flow is effortless. The crowd raps along. The energy is volcanic. DJ Premier scratches the record at exactly the right moments. Everything is clicking. This is what it's supposed to feel like. This is why Biggie does this. Not for the money, not for the fame, for this. For the moment when 8,000 people who look like him and grew up like him and survived what he survived are all connected to the same heartbeat. All moving together, all believing together, all winning together. The chorus drops. You know very well who you are. Don't let them hold you down. Reach for the stars. Biggie's walking across the stage, pointing at people in the crowd, making eye contact. There's an art to working a crowd this size and Biggie's mastered it. He knows when to lean back and let the music carry. Knows when to push forward and make it personal. Knows when to smile and when to look serious. Knows how to make 8,000 people feel like he's performing just for them. Second verse. I let my tape rock till my tape popped. The crowd's energy hasn't dropped. If anything, it's building. People are climbing on other people's shoulders trying to see better. Security's given up trying to keep order. This is controlled chaos. Beautiful chaos. The kind of chaos that only happens when everyone in the room is on the same frequency. And then something happens. Middle of the second verse. Right at Remember Rappin' Duke. Duh, duh. Biggie stops rapping. Not like he forgot the words. Not like he's hyping the crowd. He just stops. His hand lowers. The microphone drops to his side. The music keeps playing. DJ Premier hasn't noticed yet. The track is still going. The bass is still hitting. But Biggie isn't moving. He's just standing there. Center stage. Spotlight on him. 8,000 people still rapping along because they don't realize yet that he's stopped. They're so deep in the song they're carrying it without him. 10 seconds pass. The crowd starts to notice. Voices begin to falter. People in the first few rows stop rapping and start looking at each other. Is something wrong? Did the microphone cut out? Is this part of the show? The wave of confusion spreads backward through the theater. Row by row people stop singing. The music keeps playing but the collective voice is dying. By 15 seconds, half the theater has gone quiet. Still on their feet. Still watching. But quiet now. Waiting. Confused. DJ Premier notices. His hands freeze on the turntables for just a second. He looks up at Biggie. Biggie's not moving, not responding, just standing there with the microphone at his side, staring at something in the front row. Premier looks where Biggie's looking, but he can't see what Biggie sees from his angle behind the equipment. He glances stage left where Puffy's standing in the wings. Puffy sees it too. Sees Biggie frozen. Puffy's face changes, goes from excited to concerned in half a second. He takes a step toward the stage, stops, doesn't know if he should interrupt, doesn't know what's happening. By 20 seconds, the entire theater is silent except for the music. 8,000 people standing absolutely still, watching the Notorious B.I.G. stand absolutely still. The confusion has turned to tension. Something's wrong, nobody knows what, but everyone can feel it. The energy has completely shifted. The celebration has become something else, something uncertain, something that feels like the moment before something breaks. Security guards at the barricade are looking at each other. Should they do something? What would they even do? The house lights are still down. The spotlight is still on Biggie. The beat is still playing, but everything feels wrong. Biggie's eyes haven't moved. He's locked onto something. Someone. In the front row, pressed against the barricade, a man in his mid-30s has a little boy on his shoulders. The boy can't be more than 10 years old, small for his age, wearing a Biggie t-shirt that's too big for him, probably his older brother's or his father's. His hands are gripping his dad's head for balance, and the kid is still rapping. While everyone else has gone quiet, this little boy is still going word for word. His voice is small, can't be heard past the first few rows, but his mouth is moving in perfect sync with the lyrics that are still playing through the speakers. He doesn't know the music should have stopped, doesn't know something's wrong, he's just doing what he came to do, rapping along with his hero, and Biggie is watching him, just watching. The way his small mouth forms every word, the way he doesn't miss a syllable, the way his little hands move when he tries to mimic Biggie's gestures, the way his face is completely unguarded, pure joy, pure admiration, pure innocence. This kid doesn't see the Notorious B.I.G., the platinum-selling artist, the magazine cover, the legend. He just sees someone who made it out, someone who proves it's possible, someone who gives him hope that maybe he can make it too. 25 seconds. The father notices his son is the only one still rapping, looks up, realizes Biggie is staring directly at them. His eyes go wide. He whispers something to his son. The boy doesn't hear him, still rapping, still in his own world. The father whispers again, more urgent. The boy finally stops, looks up at Biggie. Their eyes meet. The boy's mouth closes. He doesn't look scared, just confused. Why did everyone stop? Why is Biggie staring at him? Did he do something wrong? 30 seconds of silence. Premier still hasn't stopped the music, doesn't know what else to do. The track is in the final chorus now. Spread love, it's the Brooklyn way. But nobody's spreading anything. Everyone's frozen, watching Biggie, watching this moment stretch, watching something happen that nobody understands. Some people in the back rows are starting to worry. Is he having a medical emergency? Should someone call for help? The tension is unbearable. This is supposed to be a celebration and it feels like a funeral. Then Biggie moves, slow, deliberate. He raises the microphone back up, not to his mouth. He extends his arm toward the little boy, points directly at him. The spotlight follows Biggie's gesture, hits the kid. The boy is illuminated, looks around, doesn't understand. Biggie speaks. His voice comes through the speakers, calm, clear, with something in it that wasn't there before. Something softer, something that sounds like sadness wearing a smile. Finish it, little man. The theater is dead silent. Nobody moves. The boy looks at his father. The father nods, stunned. The boy looks back at Biggie. Biggie nods too, gives him the microphone gesture. The kid takes a breath and starts rapping. His voice cracks at first, nervous, but then he finds it, finds the rhythm. His small voice carries through his section of the crowd. He's not loud enough for the whole theater to hear clearly, but everyone's so quiet that his voice carries. The inbox used to be the scene, and now I live out my dream. Perfect timing, perfect delivery. The kid knows every word, every breath, every pause. Biggie stands there watching him, the microphone still at his side. A slight smile on his face, but his eyes look different, look heavy, look like they're seeing something beyond the boy, beyond the theater, beyond Brooklyn. Look like they're seeing every kid who ever looked up to him. Every kid who thinks making it out means becoming like Biggie. Every kid who doesn't understand the price yet, doesn't understand what you lose, what you sacrifice, what follows you home when the concert ends and the crowd goes away and you're alone with the weight of being what everyone needs you to be. The boy finishes the last line. Spread love, it's the Brooklyn way. His voice cracks on the word Brooklyn. He's smiling so wide his face looks like it might split. His father is crying, actually crying. tears running down his face. Other people in the front row are crying too. Not sad crying, something else, something overwhelming, something about watching a child's innocence meet an artist's exhaustion and not knowing whether to feel joy or heartbreak. The crowd erupts. 8,000 people screaming, louder than before, louder than when Biggie walked out. They just witnessed something, don't know what exactly, but something real, something unrehearsed, something that felt true in a way that most concert moments don't. Biggie raises one hand, the crowd quiets slightly. He looks at the boy one more time, nods once, then he turns and walks off stage, right in the middle of the set, just walks off. The lights come up slightly. DJ Premier is frozen, doesn't know what to do. Should he play another track? Should he call Biggie back? Puffy is running backstage after Biggie. The crowd is confused again. That was only the second song. There's supposed to be 45 more minutes. People are looking at each other. What just happened? Is he coming back? Is the show over? Backstage, Puffy catches up to Biggie in the hallway leading to the dressing rooms, grabs his arm. Big, what's wrong? You good? What happened? Biggie doesn't stop walking, doesn't look at Puffy, just keeps moving toward the dressing room. Puffy follows. Big, talk to me. The crowd is still out there. We gotta finish the show. What's going on? Biggie reaches the dressing room door, opens it, stands in the doorway for a second, then says one thing, quiet. So quiet Puffy almost doesn't hear it. I saw myself, that's all. Then he walks into the dressing room and closes the door. Puffy stands in the hallway, stares at the closed door, doesn't understand. Saw himself? What does that mean? He raises his hand to knock, stops. Something tells him to leave it alone. Leave Biggie alone. Whatever just happened, whatever Biggie saw or felt or understood in that moment, it's not something that can be fixed with a pep talk. Inside the dressing room, Biggie sits on the couch, doesn't turn on the lights, just sits in the dark. He can hear the crowd through the walls. They're still there, still waiting. He knows he should go back out, knows he's letting people down. These are his people, his Brooklyn. They paid money, took time, came to see him, and he's sitting in a dark room because a 10-year-old boy who knows every word to Juicy made him feel something he can't name, made him see something he doesn't want to see, made him understand something he's been avoiding. That kid thinks Biggie has it all figured out, thinks success means safety, thinks fame means freedom, thinks making it out means winning. And Biggie knows the truth, knows that he's more trapped now than he ever was on Fulton Street, knows that the crown weighs more than anyone sees, knows that 8,000 people needing you to be their hero is heavier than any chain, knows that kid is going to spend the next 10 years trying to become Biggie, and Biggie wouldn't wish that on anyone, not even himself. 15 minutes pass, then 20, Puffy finally knocks on the door. Big, I gotta cancel the rest. People are leaving. We gotta say something. Biggie doesn't respond, just sits there in the dark. Eventually, Puffy makes an announcement. Technical difficulties. Show's over. Refunds available. The crowd disperses. Disappointed. Confused. Nobody knows what really happened. Nobody except Biggie. And the little boy who finished Juicy while his hero watched in silence. The boy's name was Marcus. His father took him home that night on the train. Kept asking if he was okay, if something was wrong. Marcus didn't understand the question. That was the best night of his life. He got to rap with Biggie Smalls. Biggie pointed at him, called him little man, let him finish the song. Nothing was wrong. Everything was perfect. He didn't notice that Biggie looked sad, didn't notice the 30 seconds of frozen silence, didn't notice the heaviness in the air. He was 10. All he knew was his hero saw him, acknowledged him, made him part of something. That was enough. That was everything. Marcus never became a rapper. Grew up, got a job, had a family, normal life, but he never forgot that night. Tells the story at parties sometimes, about the time Biggie stopped a concert to let him finish Juicy. People don't always believe him, sounds too perfect, too much like a made-up story. But it happened, and Marcus knows it happened. What Marcus doesn't know, what he couldn't have known at 10 years old, was what it cost Biggie to smile at him that night. What it took for Biggie to turn something beautiful into something bearable. To see his own innocence reflected back at him and not break completely. To keep the crown on even when it was crushing him. To let a little boy believe the dream was real even when Biggie was drowning in the reality. The footage of that night exists. Someone in the balcony had a camcorder. Low quality, shaky, but you can see it if you know where to look. You can see Biggie stop, see him freeze, see him stare, See him point at the kid, see him walk off stage. What you can't see is what he saw. Can't see the weight, can't see the realization, can't see the moment when the Notorious B.I.G. looked at his past and his future at the same time and understood that he'd traded one kind of trap for another. That fame was just a bigger cage. That the kid looking up at him with hope was looking at a man who didn't know how to be saved. The show never got rescheduled. Biggie apologized to the venue, paid for the refunds out of his own pocket, never explained publicly what happened. When reporters asked, he said he wasn't feeling well. Technical difficulties. Standard industry answer. But the crew knew, Puffy knew, the people who were backstage knew. Something happened to Biggie that night in Brooklyn. Something that changed him, made him quieter, more distant, like he'd seen something he couldn't unsee, like he'd understood something he couldn't unknow, like a little boy rapping his song had shown him the difference between the dream and the nightmare. And Biggie realized he was living both at the same time.